Alright, 1.5, analyzing graphs of functions. In 1.4 we took a look at functions algebraically, and so here in 1.5 we're going to look at all of our functions graphically, keeping in mind that our x is our distance from the y-axis and y, or f of x, is our distance from the x-axis. A couple important things we need to be able to do is find the domain and the range. So let's start by finding the domain of f as given by this graph. So the domain equals all of the possible values for x. And so if we look on this graph, we have a closed circle here at -1 for the x. So -1 is going to be on or in our domain. So we're going to use a closed bracket saying that we can touch -1, and then x-wise we're going to go all the way over here until we hit 5. But note the open circle here means we're not actually getting to 5. We're getting very, very close to 5, but not touching the 5. So we have an open parentheses there. Okay, closed bracket means that we're touching, equal to -1. The open parentheses means that we're almost to the 5 but not quite touching it. Do the same thing and find the function values of f -1. This is an x value, so we're going to say, okay, if x is -1, what's the y value? And so the answer there would be the corresponding y value of -1 or 1. Let's find the corresponding y value if x is 2. We're going to go over here and say, okay, if x is 2, where do we hit? If x is 2, then y is -3. And lastly, if, oh, I apologize, that's all we have for B. And moving on to C, let's find the range. So if domain is all the x values, then range is the possible y values. Our y values, the highest point up here is at 3, and the lowest point down here is at -3, and we are touching. They're closed circles on both of those, so we're going to run from -3 all the way up to +3. Go ahead and see if you can do the same thing with exercise 9. Find the domain and the range. Pause, press play when you're ready for a solution. Alright, here we go. The domain on 9 is going to be x is less than or equal to -1, or x is greater than or equal to +1. The way we would write that is -infinity, and we can't touch -infinity, so we would have the parentheses, comma, -1. We are touching -1, as well as 1 to infinity. The range, we're going to have y is greater than or equal to 0, so the way we would write that is 0, comma, infinity. Important thing to note on here is that even though we have this region here where there's nothing happening, that doesn't mean that we're not a function. This function still passes our vertical line test everywhere we pass our pen, that we'd only be touching one point. So it is a function with these domains and ranges.